So my background is in pediatrics and pediatric oncology first. I did hospice work. I am a birth advocate and a Lamaze educator and a doula. A doula is someone who supports people mostly in birth, but I'm also a death doula. I'm a sexuality educator and a sexologist certified through ASECT. I work with Darkness to Light, which is a sexual abuse prevention program. And I've written 38 books because I like to write. The picture is my family, and that's really my foundation. So I want to do guidelines first. Guidelines are nothing more than promises. These are my promises to you, and this is the first one, that I will respect you, that I ask you to be respectful of yourself and honor yourself. I also, most of the kids in my teen center know these, but I also honor these ideas that we listen to hear. I honor diversity, which means the difference, I think, is absolutely wonderful. I hold space. Hold space means that I know how to be there without giving advice, without telling people what to do. I tend to enjoy the presence, the gift of my presence, the gift of your presence to me. I really avoid judging. So those are my guidelines. Those are for tonight. Those are for any time I do anything. I can't see you, unfortunately, but if I could see you, you could do a thumbs up and thumbs down, but you can chat if you're having trouble with anything, if you can't hear me, if you feel I'm going too quickly, if you wish I would repeat something, please do that. This is for you. It's not for me. So I want to make sure that you know that I know that you're there. And if you need me, I am able to help. Okay. All right. My next little thing is that I want everybody to feel safe. At the teen center that I run, we say that we have a safe and brave place. So brave is part of it too. I want you to remember that people are like onions. Ogres are onions, according to Shrek. He said ogres are onions. And I believe that all of us are. That just means that we only see the top layer of a person until that person shares. So we don't know each other until we have time to connect and trust. I also want you to remove your glasses, but not really as an idea. I want you to see life, at least for a little bit, through someone else's eyes, a different perspective. I can only know what you feel if you tell me. And this is the beginning of the book. So I talk on this page of the book, which is the beginning, before the actual pages begin, about the people that helped me write this book and made it real. And these are some of the self-advocates and also staff at the ARC who really made this happen. You may know some of these people. I think Maria is on. So we definitely have some connection here. And I'm very grateful as an ally for the self-advocates who helped me. On this page, I talk about how to use words. I have a grandson who is an autistic person. That's what he likes to be referred to as. He has taught me a lot of things about seeing life in a neurodiverse way. He is an outstanding human. So we begin the book with talking about each of us being exactly the right way we should be. There's a glossary in the back of the book that lists all the different words we talk about. And I ask people to remember that each person is amazing. And I want to focus on this because it's part of the book's title, that people are amazing inside and out. Each person is worthy as they are. And your sexuality, who you're attracted to, what you like, your gender, these things are all amazing and they're all yours. They're not mine. And this is true for each and every one of us. So one of the things in the book is that it's interactive. So we ask people to draw or write about who they are here. I love doing this page with people because I love to see how they describe themselves. It's very interesting. When I was having a baby once, when I was pregnant, I taught a workshop. This is many years ago. My youngest baby is 36. But I taught a workshop in Connecticut. I don't know why, that's where it was. And we did an activity where we had a piece of paper on our backs. And people were supposed to write things on our paper that was on our back that they noticed about us, that like if we were friendly or if we were easy to talk with. And when I was done with the exercise and I looked at my piece of paper, every single thing on the paper was about me being pregnant. It was like I wasn't there. It was just, oh, she's having a baby. And that was a good thing. But sometimes I think we forget that we are deeper than our outsides. We are amazing on the outside. And as this page is about the outside of us, but we're not just the outside of us. We're not how tall we are, how short. We're not any of those things. And then I actually say you can paste a picture of yourself here if you want to look at who you are. The book is very colorful and it's easy to read. The self-advocates told me whether it was too easy or too hard. I wanted it to be up to them. So the words on these pages came with their help, with their guidance. We talk about kinds of work on page 10, and I thought you might get a kick out of seeing two of the people who helped me. We talk about each person being different, people liking different kinds of work. I personally love the work I do. I don't think of it as work. I think of it as a great gift. I like to do what I do very, very much. And then we talk about the inside, and bodies are amazing on the inside too. So we talked about hearts, and hearts pump the blood to keep us alive, and stomachs that digest the food we eat. And sometimes the colors, the words, if you can see colors, not everybody can. The words that have a color are in the glossary. Glossary is a thing at the back that has all the different definitions, what words mean, just to be safe. And the things on the bottom, by the way, that say remember, those are the lesson for the page. On the inside, we have lungs that help us breathe and a brain that helps us think. Now, one of the reasons I do this is because I'm going to talk about body parts on the outside that some people don't like to name. I do. I like to name all the body parts. I think they're awesome. They're really good parts of us. So outside body parts, some of them are simple and easy to name, and most people have no trouble with that. Sometimes we have silly names for body parts, like the body parts that are private, that have to do with sexuality. We sometimes have slang words for them. It's funny because little children are sometimes not taught the right names for body parts like a penis or a vulva. They're not taught the correct name. So I teach in the book, I talk about, do you have a silly name for your ear? And why is it no big deal to talk about your ear? It's just an ear. But other body parts seem to make us feel silly or embarrassed. And at this point in the program, and I'm not doing obviously the whole book, but I wanted to share with you that we are going to talk about body part names that are private, but they're okay. They're your body parts. They're my body parts, and we don't share them unless we choose, because they are private. But it's okay to say the words. Some people are so afraid to say the right words that they don't know how to tell people if there's a problem with a body part that makes them feel embarrassed. If something hurts or if they're itchy, they're afraid to say. But they would never be afraid to say, oh, my ear hurts. And I'm trying to get people in this program to understand that all of us is beautiful. All of us is amazing. None of us is bad. None of us is dirty unless we don't wash. So it's okay to know the names for body parts. So these are the parts that are considered private on the female body on the outside. The vulva is a word not everybody knows, and it involves all the things in picture C, and it involves the clitoris, which is for sexual pleasure in a female body, the vagina, the anus or the butt is there as well. These body parts on picture A are made smaller in picture B. So you can see where the uterus is, and that's where babies grow whenever a person is pregnant. So a person with a uterus has periods and can make a baby. That's just how that works. And these are body parts. We play a game in the program where people write down names they may have heard for these body parts. And then I say, why is it important to know the real names? And I think I've already said that to you. It's important to know the real names so you can talk about the real names. So a really funny activity I've done it many, many times is to write on the board the word breast and have people write the names for breast. And oh, there are so many names. It's really amazing. If anybody is brave and would like to chat a name for breasts, put it in the chat. I'd be happy to read it, but you don't have to, of course. It is interesting how many names we had for them. Breasts are not just to look good in the swimsuit. It's for feeding babies. It's for breastfeeding, but they are very attractive as well. And I don't know if anybody's putting anything in the chat because I don't have access to the chat right now, but it is fun to hear these names. One time we did an activity like this and there were 15 names for breasts. And that just blew me away. You know, Hooters, there's a whole restaurant name for that. Boobies, of course. When I was a little girl, my mother said I used to call them pillows. I guess because you can go to sleep and put your head on the pillow. So we name the body parts that are in women's bodies, and then we name male bodies as well. And
Mary Jo, this is Katie. You did have a few people comment in the chat.
What are they?
Tits and tatas.
Tits and tatas, yes. So I'm a breast cancer survivor, good people, and I have a t-shirt that says save the tatas. Isn't that great? Yes, absolutely. So yes, tatas is a definite. So even as an adult, I'm smiling because for some reason in our culture, we find it to be weird to say these things, but we shouldn't be. That's why I start off talking about ears. You know, who decided these words are not okay? I don't know, but they are okay. All of us is okay. All of us is amazing. Thanks, Katie. Okay, so male parts, a lot of, you'll laugh at this. I teach all kinds of ages, and I have never met a fourth grade boy who seemed to know what the word testicle was. I mean, I've taught fourth graders, and I say to the boys, do you have testicles? And they look around like, huh? What's that? And I say, well, what do you call the part between your legs? And somebody will say, balls. And I just have to laugh. But hardly anyone evidently is teaching little boys that they have testicles. It is a big word. And so then we do the same thing with the boy parts. And you'll love this. I think I see some more chatting up here. No, I think that's taken care of. Just interrupt me, Katie, if you see something. A group of boys told me one time, these were fourth graders as well. Fourth graders are unique souls. If you know anybody in fourth grade, they're at a funny stage. It's a critical stage. I was teasing about that with Katie before we started. I said that every stage of my children's development was a critical stage in their development. But fourth graders are interesting. And a boy one time in one of my classes put his hand up and he said, I know what you call a penis. I said, what do you call a penis? He said, a pencil. And I'd never heard that. I'd never heard that word for penis. And all the boys began to laugh and the girls were looking at them like, what's wrong with you? And one of the little boys said, yeah, because if a girl says, I need a pencil, we can go, yeah, you do. And I got to tell you, that kind of shook me up a little bit. I was like, excuse me? Oh, fourth graders and fifth graders, humans are funny. So back to this a minute. We do talk about these body part names, and we don't do that in a way as a way to be titillating or scandalous or weird. We do it so people understand. So let me go back. People need to know what these body parts are. They need to know the names for them. They need to know that every part of them is okay and amazing, and the same is true for these body parts as well. And anus just butt. Everybody has one, even dogs and cats and all those creatures. Yeah. So I think talking about this stuff is just no different to me than talking about any other body part, fingers, noses. I actually think noses are pretty gross. So right in the middle of our face, and if you have a leaky nose, it's pretty nasty looking, and that's not a private part. So anyway, in the program, there are 5 important lessons, and the self-advocates that help me actually help teach the important lessons in the book. And this is the first one. Kristen teaches it. It's about private and public. What is a public place? What is a private place? And this is important because Some places are okay to touch yourself, and the word for that is masturbation, and other places are not. So a private place is where you're usually alone and a door can close and you have privacy. And you have the right to say, I don't want to share this private space. And it's your body. You have the right to touch it. You have the right to be safe and not hurt yourself. But all of that is okay. We talk in the book about going to the doctor or the nurse, and that sometimes those people will ask you to undress, and that doesn't mean anything's wrong. Your body is still your body. However, the doctor or the nurse will ask you to put these little paper garments on the clothes that look like nothing. I don't like it either, but it's okay. We talk about in the book about who decide who touches you. That's your decision. So in a relationship, which is what we're looking for, is a healthy relationship, communication, talking with the person, so important. If you're building a house, this is your foundation. You have to have a kind of person you can trust and talk with to have a relationship. The second big lesson is trust, and one of my self-advocates, Jimmy, taught this lesson. And what does it mean to trust someone? So I'm going through this very quickly, but in the program, we spend time on all of this. Actually, when we did this book, we did 1 page a day usually, so we could hash it out and change the words and make sure they were right. So trust is a really big deal. You can trust many people, but remember what I said about being onions in the beginning of a relationship. It is easy to be confused because you only see the outside of a person. You don't know if they're really going to be people you can trust in the long haul, okay? Lesson number 3, Cheryl helped us with, and it's about feelings. And we use words here to talk about feelings: excited and sad and angry and nervous and happy and brave and proud. These are all good feelings. And on this page, we try to match the feeling to the picture. Can you tell who's excited? Can you tell who's happy? Can you tell who's angry, who's proud? Some of them are hard to match because you could be more than one thing in the picture. So the bottom line lesson with number 3 is that feelings are okay. You have to, in my opinion, in a relationship, try to understand your own feelings. What do I like about this person? What do we have fun doing? Do I want this relationship to become physical? Do I want kissing? Do I want touching? Or do I don't want to do that? Do I want to watch the movie that we're going to see and not kiss? Lesson number 4 is about secrets. And we talk about the fact that some secrets are absolutely wonderful. Jimmy helped with this one. So I love secrets for birthday parties, things like that. Those are excellent, but not all secrets are okay. Keeping a secret is tricky. Knowing which secrets are okay to keep, you need to have some help with that sometimes. Somebody hurts another person and then says, don't tell. That's not okay. If someone says, don't tell or I will hurt you, you need to have some help. Because if someone bullies another person and then says, don't tell, that is not a safe secret. We should not keep secrets like that. I personally have run into that in my life, and many of us have. It's not something that any of us wants. No one wants to be hurt. Sometimes the person who hurts us is very kind, other times, and it's confusing. That's why secrets are tricky. Lesson number 5, Princess helped us with, and this is a big lesson, and that's about consent. You know, I have grandbabies, and some of them are small, and they like to be tickled. I have a 2-year-old and 2 4-year-olds, and they like to be tickled, but we have taught them that if they're being tickled and they laugh, and then they start going, no, don't, no, we stop. Because even if they're just joking, no means no. If somebody says no, it's important that they be listened to. And if I say no, I want people to respect that because I am worthy of my no being listened to. And that's what consent is really about. So we talk about consent in the book. We talk about pizza. Do you want to order pizza? It's a good question. If somebody says that to you, you might think, well, am I hungry? Do I want this? Do I want pizza? And then I would think, what kind of pizza do I want? Do I want it with pepperoni? Do I want it? At the teen center, there's some kids who want it with pineapple. And there are some kids who think that pizza with pineapple is absolutely horrible. And so we have conversations about pizza. I usually get one with pineapple and one without pineapple. And then you figure out, is this a good pizza place? Is this a safe place to order pizza? 3 questions. You might ask those questions if someone says to you, do you want to order pizza? You don't just say yes. You think in your head, am I hungry? Do I want this? What kind of pizza do I want? What do I like? Is this a good pizza place? Am I safe? And only you can say yes to things like pizza. What if somebody wants you to kiss them or to touch your body parts that we just talked about that have these wonderful names that you are not afraid to say, but are still private body parts? Think about pizza. What did you say? Do I want the pizza? What do I like? Is it safe? So think about that. If somebody wants to touch or kiss or any of the things that have to do with your body, do I want to do this? Do I want to do this with this person? And do I feel safe? And it's okay to ask these things to yourself. It's okay to ask another person that you trust, a friend, a sister, a parent, a caregiver, a doctor. You can say, I have a question. I actually have 3 questions. Someone would like me to do something, and I need to think about it before I say yes. And I have to ask myself, do I want to do this? Do I want to do this with this person? And do I feel safe? And you decide. In a healthy relationship, consent is a major building block. Just like I said, you need communication. You need to talk with each other. That's the foundation of a house. If that's a relationship house, so is consent. That's a building block. That is a foundation. Don't do what you don't want to do. What else could you add? Remember, the body, our bodies are ours. So the 3 questions are, do I want this? Do I want to do this with person? Do I feel safe? And then you might ask 2 more questions. Why do I want to do this? Let's talk about that for a minute. Why do I want to do this? What if someone says, I love you? We're going to talk about that in a few minutes more. But if somebody says, I love you, does that mean we have to do what they want us to do? And the 5th question is, do I know what will happen if I say yes? So if you feel, remember those feelings we said, those are good things. If you feel uneasy, if you have butterflies in your tummy, if you feel icky about something, maybe it's not right for you right now. And then you should tell someone you trust. Find that trusted person in the beginning we talked about and say, whoa, this doesn't feel right. Why do you do these extra questions? Because having somebody say, you look great, or I like you, or even I love you, makes us feel really, really good. But I love you isn't always true. And I love you shouldn't mean you do something that feels wrong to you. I feel this very strongly because you are worthy of healthy relationships. You are worthy of people who value you, who treat you beautifully, who know how much you are worthy. So listen, words are not always it. Actions matter too. If someone says, I love you, and then hurts you, that's not healthy, okay? Before we do questions, I want to touch on one more thing that's, I couldn't do all the book, of course, in one night. I want to talk about the reality that sometimes things happen that we didn't plan. And that's never our fault. Let me say this a different way. Supposing we plan all these things in our mind, we understand our bodies, we ask the questions. We ask these questions. Do I want this? Do I want to do this with this person? Do I feel safe? And the answers are yeah. And then we think, why do I want to do this? And it feels good. And you're right. You think you're okay. Do I know what will happen if I say yes? And you think, yeah, I think I do. And then it doesn't go the way you want. And you are hurt. I want you to hear this. It is never your fault if someone hurts you. You didn't do anything wrong. It's not the way you were dressed or how you talked or if you flirted with someone. When people hurt other people, it's their fault. It's not the fault of the person who is hurt. It's not your fault. The other thing to think about is number 5 again. Do I know what will happen if I say yes? If we're talking about kissing, it's not that big a deal. But if we're talking about things like sex, if it's a man and a woman, it's a person with a penis and a person with a vagina, and they do the kind of sex that puts those body parts together, then you can have babies. That can happen. And that's the answer to number 5. Do I know what will happen if I say yes? Again, look what is in the red box. Tell someone you trust if you feel something is wrong. Absolutely someone. Say, I think I want to do this. I feel ready. However, I'm not sure about number 5. What will happen if I say yes? That's a very important thing to think about. I think it's about time for us to do some questions. That's why I have all these question marks. I want to thank you for your time. And I want to remind you, this person's a person of worth. And I want you to share that with other people. Say, everybody is worthy. Mary Jo said so. Everybody is worthy. And this is how you reach me. And Katie can help you with that if you want to connect with me in any way. Okay. All right. Let me stop sharing and you can stop recording and we can ask questions.